Hey, yo, this is Sylvester Stallone, and you're listening to my man Rob on the Bob Culture podcast. Do the punches and stuff.
All right, everybody, welcome to a very special holiday edition of the Bob Culture Podcast. Merry Christmas, everyone, and right now I am joined by some Jersey All-Stars, in fact, an amalgamation of some Jersey All-Stars. We're joined from Rotary, Jeff Kalemba, from Vection, Kate Ortiz, I might have met her somewhere. We got Eric from Fast Claire. We got Frankie from Dr. Chico. We got Eddie Testa. We got of course, Billy on drums. We got everybody. We got a big group here. We have, of course, the mighty Tree Toppers. Guys, welcome. How are you?
Hey, how's it going?
How are you?
That's awesome.
Fine.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, guys. So you guys put out this awesome CD, or awesome tracks, I should say. Sounds really great. I've heard the tunes blasting in my living room for days now. Really good. It's getting me in the holiday spirit.
Welcome.
I love it. It's really great. We'll be listening to some tunes in a little bit, but I wanted to know the origin of this project. Now, I've been working with Jeff for a while now. Jeff, it started with you, man. How did this happen?
I've always had the idea of doing it, and I've talked to Eric about it for years and just never did anything about it. And
we literally were just figuring out what year did we talk about this, and you realize how much you've procrastinated when you figured out that it was over 10 years ago that we talked about doing this. So,
and one night I was doing a bunch of TV tracks with Billy, and I think it was Blue Christmas was the first one we did, and I looked at him and just went, "Oh, we got to do this. We got to record these songs. Like, we got to make this cool and fun."
And I don't have a band, so I was like, "This is the closest thing I can get to a band right now." So, I'll take it.
So I mean that, and then literally between working with Kate and working with Frankie and Eddie and Eric, and just this conglomeration of musicians, just instead of being like, "Oh, it's this," it's all of this, and we're trying to make it even bigger and just each year do something really cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. And let me tell you guys this. I've been working with Jeff the past couple of months with Vection, with some other projects. And every time I come in, Jeff shows me a little bit of the Christmas stuff along the way. He has a big smile on his face. He's excited about it, And, sometimes we work with Jeff. He's not always smiling, So you can tell he's really excited about it. How did these guys come into the fold here? And how do you guys feel about, like, the whole Christmas album thing? Were you guys excited
I pay
about
them
it?
a lot of money.
Oh, there it is.
you know what's funny is, like you'd said before, the smile that comes on Jeff's face. Everybody who's kind of come into this thing that I've seen has had that same reaction. Like, this is just fun again. You feel like you're starting to play again. Like, it almost feels like you're playing a whole new life to your music, which has kind of been super fun. You're not aiming for a record deal. You're not aiming for this. You're just making great music and taking these songs that everybody already loves and making them new again. And it's been a fun process all the way through. It's so cool.
Yeah, and there's some rad interpretations of some of these classics too. I really dig it. How did you gentlemen get involved? Did Jeff call you up, or how did this work? How'd you make the cut here?
He paid me a lot of money.
Yeah. There you go.
I came in because I've been working in the studio with Jeff on other things, and then he let me listen to a couple of things. I said, I got to be a part of this. He didn't ask me.
Oh, really?
He didn't ask me. I pushed myself onto him.
That's great.
That's how I got involved.
That's fantastic.
That's weird,
Frankie,
I work with Jeff here in the studio quite a bit.
Oh, okay, you're famous.
So I was like basically grandfathered in since I'm here all the time anyway. And when he explained to me what they were trying to get done, I said, bring it on, because that's what it should be about music, especially with these kind of musicians. You can be playing that kind of music. I said that I have to be part of this. This is good.
That's awesome. Now, Billy, how did you get the drumming gig for this one?
I was going to say I was weird because it was like maybe last Christmas I got my first act drum set, And I said, like, I had just turned 25.
Here we
and
Toys
go.
R
I
Us was
said-
going out of business.
yeah,
And,
so I got this drum kit on a great deal, and did my paradiddles as much as I could, and
First, we had to teach him how to say the word paradiddle.
Yeah.
And then he
Fast
did it.
forward a year later, I would never think, I remember seeing all my teenage friends in all these terrible bands, and I was like, I never thought in a year I would get from where I was to be able to share some multi-tracks with some of these great
you have
people.
made it, my friend.
And I'm still got my same pair of drumsticks when I first started.
All right, let's go to the diva. How did you get involved? Am I wrong?
First off,
I don't want to
no eye
storming off
contact.
to a trailer.
He said the diva, I'll take that.
So I'm actually working off some time of indentured servitude to Jeff for past albums and future albums. So I'm a lifer.
Yeah, that's accurate. That's right.
That's accurate.
This is, I'm a lifer in his chest.
Oh man. What about the band name, the Mighty Tree Toppers? I love it. Like, who came up with that one?
Okay, that one.
That was awesome. That night was
way
great.
back, actually.
That one was pretty good because sometimes at practice there may be a beer or two, and so
A
at the
beer or
end-
two?
Yeah.
How about beer 5?
Well, if he didn't finish, he was gonna say.
I said sometimes, but so then we were all done, and we're thinking we gotta name this thing. It's kind of turning into that was our thing the whole time. It's turning into a thing.
Yeah, and I was resistant to it at first. I'm like, no, it's not a thing. It's just to be therapeutic and fun.
And then it became
turned into a thing.
Now it's a thing, So we're sitting afterwards. We're sitting there just shooting out ideas, what we could call it. And then I think you said something about what about the Tree Toppers? Like it was like one of the names that got passed along. The list of names, we should pull that out. That'd be kind of funny.
Yeah, I'd like to hear that. Yeah.
I'll see if I can find it in my phone. And then the best part, and Billy's on it. Get off your first act kit and get on that thing. And it's funny. We said, Tree Toppers. That's great. So then I go to my phone. I'm like, let me just make sure. And sure enough, there is a band, the Tree Toppers. It was a black and white video.
Like the 40s or
like
something
a
like that,
40s, like doo-wop-y type band. And they're like, now what? Because we had spent a whole 5 minutes trying to figure this out. So the investment was so big.
And your dream was dead.
Our dream was dead. And then it was like, how about the Mighty Tree Toppers? Yeah, that'll work. And then it was like, let's look that up too, just to make sure.
Yeah.
And sure enough, no one had that, shockingly.
So now you guys are the Mighty Tree
The Mighty Tree Toppers.
I love it. It's awesome.
Did you find it, Billy? Do you have some of the great?
I'm sorry, now I'm getting lost.
That's all right. Well, yeah, we can check it out later. Real quick, I want to get to know you guys a little bit, some of your background and influences. You guys play in a lot of great bands in the local scene. We'll start over with Eric. Basically, yeah, like what are some musicians that influence you? Tell us a little bit about your band, a little shameless promo. What do you got?
Sure, man. On one of the tracks here, the singer from my band is on it too. Jingle Bells. He sang on the record, which turned out pretty good too. We're like a rockabilly band. We were playing up in the city, and someone goes, "Man, if Quentin Tarantino's movies had a band, that would be your band." And
That's like sweet.
I'm like, all right, I'll take that. That's pretty cool. I'll put that on a T-shirt. But I've played around the shore forever. I've played in bands with Jeff, a few different ones, and just all around the place. And this was kind of a cool thing when Jeff brought it up. It's like, yeah, man, let's do it. Lots of influences. I love Motown. I love rock and roll. Of all around. Really just the only thing I don't like is really new country. It's really the only thing I don't like. Everything else is kind of I'm good with. But it's just been a fun process all the way through. We've been able to pull on these tunes from different influences all the way around, which is kind of a cool thing too, because these are some older tunes, so the chord changes are fun because they're a little bit different. It's been great. It's a whole process.
Oh yeah, the tracks sound awesome. Jeff, obviously, I've known you for a long time. Tell us,
just skip
yeah,
me.
just
Go
skip
ahead,
Jeff.
I'll
We know
give you
Jeff.
last.
Hey, but I got it. Jeff, we'll give you a shout. First of all, Rope Tree, awesome band. You guys are be opening for us at our big CD release show. Excited about that. Shameless plug. And of course, we're here live at Canyon Music, where a lot of great music has come out of. We've all recorded here. It's fantastic, man. So thank you for everything. We always appreciate it. $10. And then let's take it over to Eddie. How about you, man? How long have you been playing? Who are some of your influences? Tell us about.
I've been playing for a very long time. I'm influenced by everyone, from the original scene to the people who've made it on Motown, rock. I mean, I just like it all. You know, I'm every song is, you know, there's greatness in everything. So I like all
like
music, man. You know.
I like that. Open-minded. Yeah, you listen to a
Eddie's
little
the
bit of everything.
sunshine to my darkness.
Aww.
The light side and the dark side.
Frankie, how about you? Tell us about some of your bands and some of your influences.
Where do I start? I've been in so many bands. I think I've lost track. So let's just say right now I'm bass player and lead singer in the Dr. Chico band. I'm also a bass player and lead singer in a band called Eclectic Flavors.
Love the name.
It was some of you, and I play with some other people here and there. I also play with Eddie's band.
Yeah, be there this weekend. He's with me this weekend.
I get around quite a bit, and because I played with so many different in so many different genres of music, I've grown to love them all. So I can play everything. My major influence is like smooth jazz, though.
Cool.
And I think kind of fits my voice. So that's where I am.
That's awesome, man. Really, really cool. A lot of different flavors here. I like it. I'm digging it. All right, Billy, in the Eagles shirt. Oh, man. All right. Yeah.
Not the band, the Eagles.
Let's go to Kate. No, not the Eagles. Not the band. No. My dad's an Eagles fan, too, man. But anyway, tell us a little bit about your influences. Drumming-wise, I'm actually very interested in this.
I've been playing drums since, I don't know, for at least over 30 years or something like that. I grew up in my dad's recording studio and got to work with a bunch of famous people when I was a kid. And then I've been teaching for Ocean County Votech for 20 years now. So studio recording and live sound. So work up in Asbury as like a part-time sound guy, and worked with a lot of people throughout the years. It's pretty awesome. And I try to fly under the radar. I really don't want to, just chilling, having a great
Doing
time.
your thing, man.
Doing it and doing it and doing it well.
All right. That's really cool. Now, Kate, tell me about this band, Vection. I've been hearing a lot of stuff about their drummer. Really, really great.
We're
handsome.
we're really good, but our drummer sucks.
Plug.
Smash. Wah, wah, wah.
Well, if you ever need a replacement with another shitty drummer.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
I know a guy.
Dude, I got an endorsement by First Act coming your way.
The first act endorsement. Yes. All right, Kate, tell us a little bit about Vection. I heard they have a new EP that was recorded right here in Canyon Music.
Yeah, we have a 5-song EP, Vindictive, coming out. Our pre-sales start 12/21. What's so funny? No.
Long story.
Okay.
Working through the shameless promos here.
The pre-sale for the digital release of the album is December 21st, so we're really excited about that. And then the release date for the digital album is January 1st. And then we have a CD release party with Rope Tree on February 2nd when we have our physical copy of the CDs we'll be selling.
Awesome, very cool. And Jeff, thanks again, man. You did an awesome job recording here. It was awesome. It really was a pleasure. We had a good time recording with you, man. Aw, I'm feeling all the band love in here. This is good. These are the podcasts where everyone just kind of gets mushy with each other. Yeah. You guys say all the nice things to each other that you never say in person, but you know.
Yeah, that's true.
But anyway,
Give us a minute.
Yeah.
Let the beer kick in.
Yeah, that's right. So why did you guys pick the songs that you did? Like, we'll get to Little Drummer Boy a little bit later, but I thought that was like an interesting pick. You guys have a real cool take on it too, because that's one of those songs. It doesn't necessarily like, it gets
I think
boring
it's one of the worst.
It's literally the worst Christmas
But you guys give it a good groove, a good feel.
Yeah, I think I went into that going, it would be cool because nobody would really care if I wanted to be like, oh, I'm that guitar player. And I just wanted to do it once.
No, it's rad,
it.
and we'll take a listen to that one a little bit. But why did you guys pick some of the other tracks that you picked? Was it like a group vote, or do we think certain vocal styles?
If you mean group,
yeah.
it was me and Billy in the beginning.
What actually constitutes a group?
More than one.
Okay.
More than one. So you had two. So there's your
Amongst Jeff and I grouping out there, we would group out hard, and
There's no real rhyme or reason why we picked it. I think
we have a bunch. We just have a bunch of songs kind of in the bank. Like even now for the next one coming, I don't know what we got a bunch in the bank, and we had a bunch in the bank the first time. We tracked a bunch of extra songs. We only finished the 6. Partial I guess time restrictions and creative inspirations or whatever it is, or maybe they just need more time to develop or whatever.
Or creative differences.
Yeah, sure. But the one thing I was going to say is when we started out, it was kind of just I'm working off of Jeff's vision, like supporting Jeff's vision. I've known him for probably 20 years or something like that. But then as everybody else started to get involved, then it kind of just like kept up in the ante, and then it was like, all right, we're really invested in this now. So, and then the creativity has kind of gotten more, better, I would say. And then for next year, I think it'll be pretty awesome.
More good.
No, yeah. I do English good and well.
You said you're editing this, right?
Edit out more better.
No, you can leave that in. That's a direct quote. Back to you, Bob.
I see. Thank you. I see you guys got, all got smiles on your faces before we started doing the podcast. You guys were already talking about like more songs you want to do and doing more songs. You guys just played a show. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But let's get into it now. I'm ready to go. Let's take a listen to Blue Christmas, of course, by the Mighty Tree Toppers.
Available for Christmas and July parties.
All right, everybody. Of course, that was Blue Christmas by the Mighty Tree Toppers. Guys, as we were listening to it, I heard you guys kind of talking about the show you just played. I did have some questions about the writing and recording process. But let's start with Blue Christmas. You guys were kind of talking about the live performance of it, but also kind of take me back to kind of writing. I mean, obviously it's a cover, but kind of structuring that song and recording it here. How did that go down?
Well, I really dig. Brian Zetzer did a verse like that, and I kind of dug it with like that rockabilly guitar. And actually, Kate's the only one that like picks up on my guitar playing. And
yeah, he does this one like bendy note, and I was like, "Oh, that's my favorite part."
Yeah, it's got.
That's great. I ripped it off.
It's the little things, yeah.
It is.
But Literally, it was me and Billy in a room, and I had Billy giving me the words as a scratch vocal, and I'm playing to a drum loop.
too.
Yeah,
I would
they're
love.
actually really
I would
good.
love to hear that.
Those are so good.
And
Yeah, maybe we can play that at the next break or something.
Oh, okay.
They're-
Outtakes.
You know, Kate, you did a great job, but
We're gonna go.
we're gonna go with Billy.
We decided to go with this. We're gonna go in this direction.
We're gonna go with it.
But literally, it was tracked scratch guitar to a drum loop, and Billy singing the words. And then we brought the drums in with him doing it to me, and then Eric was on the bass. Then I pulled Kate in, and I think we got like a bell tree to make it authentic.
Yeah.
And yeah, you know, that's how it was done. I think that's how all of them were done. It was just click track, me, and Billy singing it. So I had a placeholder.
Did you guys like record like all the instrumentals first, and like you were thinking like what singers to bring in for what track?
Yes.
Or
Yeah, absolutely.
That's cool.
It
Look,
really was
yeah.
like that. Like, you know, I immediately thought of Kate for Blue Christmas. Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. I've done with Frankie, and I'm like, yeah, it's his voice, 100%. Run Run Rudolph, Chuck Berry, Eddie Testa. It's probably one and the same person, you know. Like, but it just came out really good. And you know, Laddie with Jingle Bells, I had this like Social D. Like vibe to it, and I'm like, oh well, I need like that rockabilly guy. I'm like, oh wait, Eric, you play in a rockabilly band. I need your singer, you know. And it was,
Let me text him.
it just went like that. And then Billy found Rose for Here Comes Santa Claus, and that was the one where I was like, I really want that to be like traditional. I need that traditional like 1940s girl voice where it's like soulful and boisterous. And he picked her out, and I was like, all right, we'll give her a shot. You know, worst comes to worst, I got Kate. You know, so like. But she nailed it.
Nice, yeah. The rest is history.
Rewind. Worst comes to worst. I've got
I didn't
Kate.
want to look, but I saw out of the corner of my eye, she just shuddered when you said that.
Remember that
But I love
T-shirt?
Kate.
I guess that goes
That
back to the
doesn't
indentured
exist.
servitude.
Yeah, I mean, you can't.
It feels really good to be second string.
You already had a song.
Oh wow.
Pulls out the Eagles.
All right, guys.
Cut that part.
Tell me a little bit about this show you guys played. You guys were just all talking about it. It sounds like you had a good time. Obviously, I was working. I couldn't make. I'm so sorry. I was in big trouble for not making it. But basically,
now-
oh, thanks. Yeah.
And now we're divorced.
Not true.
That's expensive.
But it looked like you guys were in almost like a barn from the pictures I was getting. It was a brewery. It looked like there was a cool crowd. It looked like a very interesting place to play. It looked kind of rad. Tell us about the show.
Absolutely, yeah. Thanks for the question. You would assume you were pulling up to a bar in which it would have much space, square footage-wise, you know? And then I found myself tucked away in this little nook in the corner in which my elbows would keep hitting the wall throughout the set. It was fantastic.
I've been there.
But I'll
DJs.
tell you what,
It's not good, man.
despite
I've
our
been there.
shortcomings here, we made it work, and it was a fantastic event. Because at the end of the
it was
day,
great.
nobody's listening to me anyway. If you look at all the pictures, you can't see me. If you look at the videos,
I know that story, man.
barely hear me.
Design.
No, the place we played was Screaming Hill Brewery. They have a tree farm. Well, they have a full farm attached to it.
Sweet.
These guys have been awesome with me. Like, I've dealt with these guys for years. When they first opened up, they needed a band. A friend of mine went to that farm for his dairy farm, and they go, man, we need a band because we have a brewery on the farm now, which was super cool. They grow all their own hops. They grow all their own wheat. They try to make it like...
Now what? Their own weed?
Yeah, they grow their own wheat. Yeah, not weed.
Wheat with a T.
Wheat.
Okay, wheat.
W-H-E-A-T.
Okay.
Yes. There's an H in there and an A. And these guys have been super cool with me the whole time. That's a different farm, Frankie. Different farm altogether.
We're not supposed to talk about that farm.
We don't talk about that farm. But the farm is on Bullock's Farm, which, like, for just a quick little history lesson, that farm's been there since the 1800s, owned by the same family that still owns it and runs the farm itself. So we play a lot of events there with my other band. So when we were getting the Christmas thing together, I went in there one day, I go, guys, do you have anything going on? I know you guys do the Christmas tree thing. Do you have anything that's like wrapped in? Because the brewery is on the farm grounds. And I'm like, do you guys have anything planned? Like, and they're like, no, we're going to be open. We were thinking about doing something bigger. I go, I got a Christmas band. You want to give it a shot? And they were like 100% gung-ho
Nice.
from the get-go. and then it just instantly went from there. And it was like, cool, we're gonna do this. What day can you do it? We want to do it this way. We can do it outside. But in typical Eric fashion, if there's an outside gig and I'm playing on it, it rains. And not a little bit, it rains a lot.
Oh, yeah.
So then we had to move it inside to the brewery, which actually worked out great too. Because we were right there and all the people that come to the brewery were there. So we had kind of a built-in crowd for it. And the good news is they are 100% into it for next year. We're thinking about doing a Christmas in July party there.
Nice.
Which is going to be super fun. So, again, it's Screaming Hill Brewery. Those guys were super cool to us. The beer is awesome, so you should drink it.
It's really cool because, I was working with Jeff on some other stuff when you guys were planning your shows and all that kind of stuff. And I remember Jeff being very particular. He didn't want to play like the local bars, like the regular kind of, rock places. He was more into being by the Christmas trees and stuff like that. I even heard you guys just before talking about like children's hospitals and stuff like that. I mean, that's what it's all about. That's really, really cool. Is that something like you knew from the get-go, Jeff? Did you know you guys were going to play shows?
No, at first I was like, oh, this is therapy. This is my therapy. I'm going to do this. And
that explains so very much. Yeah.
This is when it became a thing. We were talking about it.
And I forgot when that was, but you came up to me like, "This is a thing now." I'm like, "No, it's not."
No, it is.
It's a thing.
So now it's a thing.
You guys are being interviewed. It's a thing. Yeah.
It's a thing.
So it's literally, but like you said, I don't want it. It's not a bar band. It's not that. It's gonna work its way to be this show, and just you go out for Christmas, and it's why do that at a bar?
Yeah,
do it at the tree farm. Do it at the children's hospitals. Do it at whatever thing that needs a little bit of Christmas and fun, and it has to be fun for us, so at a bar, why would I do that?
No, it looks, you guys all got smiles on your faces.
That's where we're going.
Book it. Let's
Hey,
go.
do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you need a publicist or a media manager, you talk to Eric Collier, by the way. That guy is underrated. He's fantastic at what he does.
Okay.
And even when you were like, no, this is real, like you're doing an interview, none of it really seems real. It doesn't. And every time we get together, we're like, no, this is a thing. Like, that's Eric. He's like, no, it's a thing.
No,
and
it's
it's
a
like,
thing. We're doing it.
yeah.
Do it.
All of a sudden, and now we're a Christmas band.
Yeah.
Who the hell is a Christmas band?
That's actually.
We're seasonal musicians.
I like it. You guys all got so much going on. Seasonal musicians. Yes. You guys all have a lot going on. You're saying this is a seasonal thing, so we'll see you back next year. We'll see you Christmas in July. I know, we got a couple weeks, or we got, I guess, a week from tomorrow. We have Christmas. What does the future hold for the mighty Tree Toppers?
Oh man, a lot of work.
A lot of work.
Star, an angel.
A lot of work in not the Christmas season, which is a little bit.
It's a thing.
It's a thing. Yeah.
It's a thing.
It's a project.
I mean, we have a goal for an entire show. Me and Jeff are talking, and Billy. We've all been talking about it. And everybody's throwing in their ideas, and it's awesome. And everybody seems to be coming back to the same thing. Like you put it the best way when you said we kind of want to bring the Hallmark Christmas to your spot and just drop it right there. You know what I mean? Like you got the music. We're going to have a multimedia thing we're working on. Santa Claus is coming to town. He will be there.
Santa Claus is coming?
Yep.
Wow.
We're going to have a Santa Claus. We kind of want to bring the whole thing together to where, listen, man, I'm a musician. I love music, but I don't want to, if I have a family and, they're getting older, but I have a family. And if we would go out to a thing, my kids are not going to want to sit there and just watch the band. You know what I mean? It doesn't really work like that anymore. But if I'm going to go, we're going to go cut down a Christmas tree, or we're going to go to see Santa Claus, and he's there, and the band's playing, which Dad digs, and there's a movie playing too, which the kids think it's great too, and then there's all these other things going on. The goal is to completely bring that all together to where it's just a whole awesome day. You know what I mean? To where music is a huge part of it, and we're all 100% committed to the music, but we're committed to the idea of the entire package too, which is super cool.
Very well said.
Billy in the front.
Yes.
Hi. Hi. Yeah, Bill from the local area media outlet. We should have a cookie eating contest, like a Santa cookie eating contest,
Submit that to the board and in triplicate. And
just a bunch of Santas trying to eat as many cookies as they can in a minute, and then trying to sing a song.
We can bring the Santa 5K is what I'm calling it too. I'm into it, man. Let's do it.
All right. Now, for people who want to listen to your music and all that stuff, where do we go on social media? Where
We
where
have
do we find this?
cassettes.
Do you really? I will legit buy a cassette right now.
They're blank, so put them in your tape player and get ready to hear us on the air.
You know what, though? If you want to buy a cassette, I think we could run one of those off real quick.
Somebody got a tape player?
Do you got a tape player?
Jeff will make it
Frankie?
happen.
Good one.
Where can we find the music online, folks?
Have at it, Jeff.
CD baby.
I'm not that guy.
I know there's a couple tracks on
well,
Facebook.
right now we're
Yeah.
releasing them on the Facebook page. We got a couple more coming out. And by Christmas, everything that we've completed so far, and like we've been talking about, there's a bunch that are just in. We just didn't get finished completely yet.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
More to come.
There's a bunch of stuff coming quick too, but the stuff that is completely done is all coming out with like a little video thing that goes with it on Facebook, on the Muddy
no
Tree
way.
Toppers on Facebook page. There'll be a website soon. The domain's taken.
It's a thing.
It's ours. It's a thing. YouTube videos. The whole thing's gonna happen in Instagram. But for right now, everything's going on the Facebook page. So
Awesome. Check them out. Of course, the Mighty Tree Toppers. Go ahead, Bill.
Wherever you are in the world right now, just feel under your seat. I bet you Santa left a little gift for you.
Okay.
I don't know. Where do you go after that?
All right. On that note, I'll throw a little curveball at you guys real quick before we
More
listen.
than that?
Yeah. Oh my goodness! Thank goodness for editing. Before we listen to Little Drummer Boy, let's go around the room real quick. And everyone, I just want you to tell me one thing that you want for Christmas this year. Start with Kate.
MacBook Pro, get to the mall.
Oh my god, that sounds like a demand.
Billy, what would you like for Christmas this year?
8 straight hours of sleep.
Hey, Frankie, what do you want for Christmas?
I'm going crazy. I like world peace for Christmas.
Hey, you can't beat that. No, you can't beat world peace.
Good, I'm glad I didn't say it.
Good man. Eddie, what do you want for Christmas?
I want the same thing, man. Peace and harmony in the world.
I love it. You know,
I'm sticking with the
Selfless.
MacBook Pro.
Yeah. A little bit of a different direction than Kate. Yeah.
There's only music is what brings everybody together. No matter what happens in the world, if music is playing, it changes everything, and that's why we're doing this. Also, that's why I'm involved.
Yeah.
Because I want to bring joy to somebody that'll bring me joy. So that's why I do it. You know, when I heard them doing this, I just jumped in. I said, I want to be part of it. So that's what I'm all about. You know, at this point in our lives, like you said before, it's not about record deals and trying to please a bar owner. It's about pleasing. It's about us pleasing someone else to make someone else happy. It brings us joy in our hearts. You know, that's why we're part of it.
That's awesome. Yeah, you know, as much as we joke around, like I can tell you this like means a lot to you guys, and you know, you guys are bringing Santa in, you're making the kids happy. You know, Jeff. You know, I've seen Jeff all along planning this whole thing. Like he's, you know, I don't want to play like the regular bars, or the places we always play. I want to, you know, I want the kids to come. You know, I want to make, you know, like you said, like make everybody smile. So it's
The only
really
thing I was a
cool.
little upset about was he called me today. He said, "Listen, if we can't get Santas every time we play a gig, one of us has to be a Santa Claus."
I saw
I would-
that job.
So
That lets me out. I always tell my friends, I say, I don't care what anybody says. In my house, Santa Claus is a black man.
Yeah, there you go. That's right.
his name is Frankie.
All right, Jeff, top that. Who do you want? Or who do you? What do you want? What do you want for
I
Christmas?
want all of it except the MacBook Pro. You know what? I'd love the music business to get their heads out of their ass. That's what I want for Christmas.
There it is.
How about that?
I was gonna say I want to change my answer and say like all I want for Christmas is this like tree topper thing to take off for next Christmas.
Oh, man, we got,
Oh, next Christmas, yeah, man. Okay, we're gonna work on that.
That would be a good one.
Very good tree topper, Bill.
That's right. Eddie came up with a great thing. We should all be tree topper name.
Ooh, I like that.
Tree topper Kate. Tree
Topper
Bill.
Jeff.
I like it.
And we're all now we're tree
Can we get like
toppers.
cool jackets?
I think
No,
should
we
have
should
personalized
each
shirts.
dress like a different, like, actual tree topper. Like, Jeff's the star. Billy's the angel.
Wait. That's taking it a little too far here.
Edit.
That's great.
Oh boy. Eric, Eric, what would you like for Christmas this year?
You know what, man? And
I'll show you.
Billy, show him.
Audio only, don't worry.
You know what, man? It's been everybody's had great answers. Even the MacBook Pro. I'm with you on that. I want one too. But I think it's been so cool to do this and have it be you get so cynical after a while when you're playing and you're doing
Absolutely.
it for more than just like when you do it for long enough and you've really put your heart and soul into something and sometimes you don't feel like you're getting anything back from it. You know what I mean? This has been fun. You know what I mean? It's been fun on so many levels and everybody's kind of come together and put their whole heart into it, expecting nothing in return except to just make cool music and have a good time. And it's been so refreshing to do it. I mean, I've been talking to tons of friends of mine, and a couple of them came out the other day when we were playing. And it's so neat that we're all at different points.
Neat.
You know what I mean, of life.
How old are you?
I'm like 104,
okay.
but we're all at different points. You know what I mean? Like, I've been doing this a really long time, the whole thing here, and then it's so really, it just changes the way you feel about it when you see people that are coming in that have like. Frankie and Eddie, they have gigs coming out the wazoo. Like, they don't need to do this at all. Like they have way better things to be doing than this, right? And way more lucrative things to be doing than what we did. But they were just as excited to be there as Kate and Rose were to be there, that are the younger ones of the group. And everybody was so 100% involved in it. My goal is, what I would hope for, if someone could package it up in a little box for me, which is to say next year, we're all going to be just as happy doing this, but we're just going to be doing it more. You know what I mean? That would really
I see
be
it.
You know what I mean?
I totally see it. You guys are going to be gearing up, September, August? Who knows? You could get it started
March.
going. Yeah, seriously.
Or right away.
Yeah.
But I think it's funny for me and for Rose, we're not that involved with music. As you guys get dated or get tired of the music thing, you kind of want out from the shit you're doing, and this is what keeps you into it. And I don't play music that often, so it's something that kind of pulls me back into it. So whether you're tired of music or you don't do it enough, it kind of like Eddie was saying, it brings everybody back to the middle, which is really cool. And yeah, none of us are doing it for the success. We're doing it because we got our own thing going on, and this is what's really fun and cool. So it's nice to have that release.
So it's really well said, and it's kind of like an all-star band of all your great talent, and you guys are putting smiles on people's faces. Let's give Jeff a round of applause for putting all this together. Banning music, doing a lot for the scene. He really does. No matter how he feels about it, he does a lot for everybody. He really does.
And you look good doing it.
Yeah, he does. He does a
you.
great job. Absolutely. Guys, thanks for a few minutes. Thanks for coming on. And right now, let's listen to Little Drummer Boy by the Mighty Treetoppers.
Thank
Christmas!
Hey guys, thanks for checking out this episode of the Bob Culture Podcast. Don't forget to support the show on patreon.com/Bob Culture Podcast for some great incentives. I'd like to give a shout out to my patrons Jay Crow, Shannon Cruz, and of course Mike and Michelle Vermillion from Sledgepad Innovations. Sledgepad is the bass drum dampening system used by national acts like Pink, Goo Goo Dolls, Cher, Collective Soul, and a whole bunch more. Check them out at sledgepad.com. And of course, if you're a fan of the show, please subscribe on YouTube, check us out at podbean.com, and leave me a review at iTunes.